Paul King and Julian Porter.
Let's take an aerial look at this incredible stretch of road, a beautiful flowing track. It starts on a flat-out straight and winds its way downhill into the forest alongside a frozen lake. Plenty of dips and crests and snowbanks lining the road to correct lines if needed. It's also fairly rutted after the earlier pass. And it all tightens up as we head into the village of Gustavus itself. 4.1 kilometres of breathtaking Swedish stage. First into the stage will be Ken Block in his Ford Fiesta ahead of Emirati driver Khaled Al-Qasimi and Britain's Matt Wilson. Sandell is behind the wheel of an S2000 Skoda. He's just before compatriot PG Anderson and former F1 champ Kimi Räikkönen. Sebastian Loeb is next ahead of Citroën teammate Sebastian Ogier, while Jari-Matti Latvala is the first of the Works fours into the stage with 2003 world champion Petter Solberg up next. The surprise act of the weekend, Mats Osberg, he's next, followed by 2010 Sweden winner Mikko Hirvonen. We are all set then. Julian Porter is alongside me in winter rallying. Well, it's an incredible spectacle, but it wouldn't be possible without these studded tyres, would it, Jules?
No, 400 tungsten-tipped studs in each tyre, which bite into the ice to give them their grip when cornering and accelerating. And PK, we have actually been fortunate enough to go out this afternoon in one of a rally car on this stage and sample those studded tyres for ourselves. It's a phenomenal grip. It really is phenomenal. Anyway, our first driver into action is Mr. Ken Block. Co-driver Alex Gelsomino, the Italian, alongside him there. Yeah, he's had several offs this weekend, a couple of snowbanks, but he did win the highest jump.
Yeah, the American stunt driving phenomenon is into his second season in the WRC. He did find it a tough stepping stone for the WRC last season, though. He's under starter's orders, Jules.
That's it. Look at the ruts. The ruts are so deep. This is what we were talking about. We wondered whether someone would just sit outside of them, but not looking like it. That's... We're about to go.
Yeah, you can see the car fighting for grip as it pulls away there. No launch control, of course, in these cars.
No, that's it. And Ken's going to have to keep it steady. There's a little bit of gravel showing through on the road. That's the dark line you can see. This morning, all white. We've already had one pass, and you can now see the gravel just under through. What there is also is the ruts, which is good if they can keep in them.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen to the sound of that Ford Fiesta. Very different to what we're used to for the last few years, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot noisier. And as we saw earlier on, it's not far away from Ken over the jump. A little bit better than this morning. He was a bit cautious. When you said he was going to prepare himself big for the afternoon.
Yeah, well, he's not been taking it easy over the jumps this weekend, let's say. We know he's got obvious driving skills. You can see that from his Gymkhana videos. But this has obviously been a real challenge for Ken this weekend. Let's take another look at... his jump, yeah, fairly tidy. I think still a bit quicker than earlier.
It's quicker than earlier. Still not as high as Ogier was this morning in here, but better than his performance this morning, that's for sure.
Yep, Ogier's our favourite over this jump so far, but Ken, of course, this is his first time on these studded tyres, isn't it? He's done the Snowdrift Rally in the American Championship, but only on winter tyres. Oh! Big moment for Ken there.
Yeah, leaning on the snowbank, but it just gave way. We saw that earlier on with PG as well. The bank gave way as he was leaning on it, and it nearly sucked him in. The front end gets spun back round.
Yeah, let's take another look at this, Jules.
Just watch, he drifts wide, which is what they all do. They all lean on him, but the front just starts to ping in, and he just gets it back. If he'd have gone a little bit, another half a foot, Ken would have been digging again.
Tell you what, Ken was a very lucky boy there. We've seen people time and time again this weekend get sucked into the snowbanks on those occasions. Anyway, we're getting close to the stage finish now. It all tightens up as we head towards the village of Gustavus. Our best time so far from this morning, 2 minutes 22.1. That was Mikko Hirvonen. And Ken is fast approaching. It's pretty much all downhill, isn't it, at this stage?
Look at the ruts here, though. You can see them. They've got to stay in. The other drivers will be saying they need to be in the line. That's what they're meaning. The line is there.
Yep, and there we are. That water pipe on the left there, that's a sign we're getting very close to the finish now. We should see the yellow boards that mark the start of the flying finish very soon. Ken nudging another snowbank. He's certainly giving it all. There are 3 points up for grabs, remember, in this power stage. Into the last corner now. Well, that's over 2.5 minutes, and that's not, I don't think, going to be enough to win the power stage this time. That's a good 10 seconds slower than Mikko Hirvonen.
That's it, but that moment would have just knocked his confidence real bad.
Yeah,
really knocked it.
Well, our next man in is former Middle East champion Khalid Al-Qasimi. Obviously, not too accustomed to driving on ice and snow. He's better at driving on the desert. His best finish today, 6th place in Greece, 2009.
Khalid is in, and obviously conditions completely alien to what he's used to in rallying in Abu Dhabi. But a strong performance this week, 10th overall at the moment coming in, and Khalid will be keen just to keep it there.
Yeah, we were hoping to have helicopter pictures here, but for the moment, unfortunately, the cold weather is even affecting our equipment. The camera for the helicopter frozen at the moment. But anyway, let's get back with Khalid. He's co-driven by Northern Irishman Michael Orr.
And he's heading towards where, not far off where Ken had his moment there.
Yeah, and this is also earlier we saw that big spin for PG Anderson, remember? Here he comes to the crest. Oh! Yes! Khalid hard on the brakes, and he's almost up as well.
He is going again, though. He's going.
Yeah, he managed to power through, but Khalid, another man, he's not afraid of hitting the jumps hard, but I tell you what, he was very hard on the brakes after that. Let's take another look. Very
high, highest we've had, but he's then, you can't brake in the air, PK, so the problem is you're taking the gamble. Do you do the big jump and look spectacular, but then look, he's trying to stop the car and he can't. Lucky, he was lucky.
Yeah, he was lucky. He's currently just outside the point-scoring places. No, he's not actually. He's currently in the final point-scoring place in 10th. So he's on course for one World Championship point. But can he push on and get any more in this power stage?
The advantage he had by coming into the jump fast, he threw away afterwards. But a lot neater through the corner that Ken was, that was for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He finished 13th in Sweden last year. But he definitely should beat that record here today. Let's see what he can do in the power stage.
Well, looking at the way he attacked the start of it, he was up for the 3 points. That's what he was trying to get.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the thing, no matter how your rally's gone up to this point, the power stage means all bets are off. You've got 3 points to go for if you can set the fastest time in this 4.1 kilometre circuit.
That's it, 3 for first, 2 for second, 1 for third. So
yep, absolutely.
Everyone on the podium on the stage gets a point.
Absolutely, and you can see the ruts again there. Best part of 100 cars, is it, through here in the first pass this morning?
That's it, but also the ruts give you a lot of confidence, because if you're in them, you feel you can push and lean on them. It's when they jump out, you see he's out of the ruts there.
Yep.
And that's when he's going to struggle slightly if it starts to go sideways.
Absolutely. Our fastest time from this morning, again, another reminder, 2:22.1. That was Al-Qasimi's teammate, Mikko Hirvonen. He's definitely going to be over that. Yep, into the tight left-hander just before the finish now, over the bridge, into Gustavos. And Khalid's through 2:33.6. That's, yeah, well, 3.4 seconds over the fastest time so far. Back at the start line is Matt Wilson and co-driver Scott Martin driving for the M Sports Stobart team.
Again, Matthew's in the ruts. They're all sticking to these ruts, and when the car leaves, you'll see him move around. You see the car there just bouncing its way down the ruts as it gets out of them. Now it's not as rough there.
Yeah, and let's just listen to this 1.6 litre turbo car again as it passes. Matt obviously heavily involved in the development of this new Fiesta, and it has been incredible how all of these cars, I mean 9 Fiestas, 4 Citroen DS3s, all of them working supremely well straight out of the box.
Yeah, there's been the odd little gremlin, but nothing compared to what you think, what they've gone through. And in the temperatures, today and this morning, -27.
Let's have a look over the jump. Nice and tidy from Matt.
Second best so far.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Of course, a lot shorter and twitchier, these new cars. None of the active centre differentials we used to see.
Also, the other thing is the manual gear shift now, not the paddles anymore from last year. That's something else. The driver physically has to take the hand off. Ken watching.
There's Ken Block, fastest so far, alongside his co-driver Alex Giostamino. Always quick with a smile. Very stylish sunglasses as well, don't you think?
Yeah, he'd be cold without his jacket on.
Yeah, it is still the best part of -20 degrees out there. It actually tried to snow as well a little while ago. Oh, he's through the corner that almost caught out Ken as well.
Matthew's been the neatest and precise so far through the stage, and Ken obviously at the moment he's...
Yeah, I'm not sure Ken's disappointed in Matt there. He didn't bounce off the snowbank enough for his standards.
Not enough showmanship for Ken.
Exactly. Fans enjoying this spectacle. We still have the rally to be fought for, as well as this power stage, remember. That's coming up later on. Meanwhile, let's see what Matt can do. Pushing hard again. Matt's already on course for a couple of championship points. Can he add them to them in the power stage? Hard on the accelerator and hard on the revs. Obviously, these cars built to rev much higher, and the Ford's now switched to a 5-speed gearbox, 6-speed gearbox, sorry, from 5 last year. Yeah, I mean, that obviously is needed because they've got to rev these cars that much higher.
Well, that's it. And you guys, Matthew is really neat and tidy, and he's doing a real good job so far. I think he's not made any mistakes. I think he will take the lead of the power stage, and Mr. Block will be leaving his perch in the winner's circle at the minute.
I'm not sure he'll appreciate that. Anyway, we're over the bridge. Let's find out. Let's see what Matt and Scott can do through the finish. 2 minutes, 28 dead. Yeah, Matt Wilson takes over. 2.2 seconds up. Cracking drive from Matt there.
That's a good run. Still, I mean, the winning time this morning, 2:21. 6 seconds off that. But the conditions are slightly worse with the ruts and everything, so it's going to be harder.
If it ended like it is now, this is the top 3. Wilson, Block 2.2 seconds behind, and Khaled Al-Qasimi 5.6 seconds slower than Matt Wilson. Next up, we have Patrick Sandell, and what a fantastic weekend he's had. The former junior World Rally champion. He's driving a Skoda Fabia S2000 this weekend, but he's been mixing it with the World Rally cars all weekend, hasn't he?
Well, that's up to 5th at one point, up to stage 4 on Friday, 5th overall in a Super 2000 car. And this is a lot more higher revving. 2 litre, normally aspirated, whereas the World Rally car is 1.6 turbocharged. But Patrick's, it's been a very impressive display.
Absolutely, it's worth pausing now. Just listen to the difference in this engine note. Yeah, a lot higher. Obviously, the current World Rally cars based on the general chassis of the S2000 cars, but with different engines. Let's look at him over the jump. Yeah, we saw this earlier, didn't it? The difference with the S2000s, you've got to be a lot neater, a lot tidier. You need to carry the speed through, don't you?
That's it. Carrying the speed is all important. You don't have as much power to keep the car. You won't want to be touching too many snowbanks to scrub the speed off either.
Absolutely. And a very well-known man alongside Patrick. Staffan Parmander is, of course, the former co-driver to Sweden's last regular works driver, Kenneth Eriksson, when they were driving a Subaru back in '97, is it? The last Swedish runners here. A lot of experience alongside Patrick.
That's it. Patrick would have been dearly hoping to be top Swede, but it might not just get that. That's not quite in his grasp right at this minute.
But it still has been a terrific run. He's been in the SWRC the last couple of years. Won the Junior Championship a few years ago as well, but even if he's... Fancy a kiss?
To the crowd getting themselves sorted, and I mean, all the cameras are getting ready now for the big boys, but let's see what Sandell is up to further in the stage.
Yep, they're certainly enjoying themselves out there. The Scandinavians don't mind the cold, and Patrick Sandell certainly doesn't. Oh, bit sideways for him there. That's unlike him.
It is unlike him.
Surely he can't get a point, Jules. Not in an S2000 car. It's not possible.
That would be a big achievement.
It really would.
It would.
It really would. But he's been mixing it with the cream of the WRC all weekend, and it's quite interesting to see. We could get, you know, some of the top SWRC boys. There's some pretty talented guys out there, aren't there? We could see this from time to time.
Yeah, I have to say it was one of the surprises I saw on Friday was how close they were. I mean, at one point there was Bryn Nilsson was just behind Patrick in the overall order. So it's been a strong, encouraging performance by the Super 2000 cars.
Yep, absolutely. Well, he's getting near to the finish now. I don't think he's going to trouble the top time so far. Here he comes into the tight left-hander. Yeah, nice and tidy over the bridge. Let's have a look.
He's not going to be far away, but not quite, but not far away.
2:31.8. That's only 3.8 seconds. Not a bad finish to Patrick's weekend. He can hold his head. He can hold his head high after this.
There's a shot of the studs there. You can see them, and
yeah. Of course, this is the next Swede in the top 10 we have here. PG Anderson, of course, led the rally after the Super Special.